So, how to maintain proper bookkeeping. So, number one is just please have a system, like have a bookkeeping system.
We don't advise having a manual system, but
If you
please, that's
choose
better.
to,
That's better
yeah,
than nothing.
yeah. So, you can have an electronic bookkeeping system. So, electronic doesn't even mean that you need the software. It could be, a Google sheet or an Excel sheet or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, there's free alternatives as well. I mean, there's wave accounting, which is we don't deal with that, but there's wave accounting, and what's another one? FreshBooks, which is relatively low cost. But if you're having a business and you can't afford the cost of an accounting software that's so cheap, I mean, these are basic entry-level softwares, even QuickBooks and Xero. If you can't afford those, then perhaps you're going to really need to rethink what it is that you're doing with your business.
Yeah. Next is to regularly update financial records. Again, it happens where it's just a month behind, then 3 months behind, then it's a year behind. So you have to just dedicate time to bookkeeping.
Yeah.
So it does take time. You have to commit to like a schedule. Commit to a routine with your bookkeeping so that you don't fall so far behind that it's so hard to catch up.
Yeah, and the rule should be just say when your statements come out on, for example, 15th of the month, that weekend following the 15th is always the weekend that you do it, no matter what.
Yeah. Next is, hire a professional bookkeeper. So if you can't commit, you don't have the time, then take it off your plate. Have someone else do it for you, and with a professional, you know that your bookkeeping is done right. And I cannot stress this enough. Please choose the right bookkeeper. Like, don't just go for whoever's cheapest that you find on Upwork. I've seen it.
We've seen this quite a bit where people think, oh, bookkeeping's so easy, I could do it. Well, probably not. But at the end of the day, there's a lot of business owners where they'll hire a bookkeeper, and that bookkeeper will be terrible, and the cost to repair the bad work that's been done is very, very expensive, because not only do you have to catch up an entire year's worth of bookkeeping instead of paying it monthly, you now have to pay probably double to undo all the terrible work and then redo it again.
Yeah. And also, I think, I don't know if most business owners realize this, but if you do hire a bookkeeper and you think, oh yeah, like I'll hire a bookkeeper from Asia or something like that because it costs cheaper. It might cost you cheaper, true, but will they be able to file your tax returns for you, like your HST return? Because non-residents can't really have...
They can't have e-file.
Yeah, they can't have e-file. They can't have the CRA represent a client account. So take those into consideration. It's not just like getting the books done, it's actually filing the tax returns as well
and staying in compliance.
Yeah.
But when it comes down to this, just think of it as a cost benefit analysis for yourself when hiring a bookkeeper. Say you spend 20 hours a week or 20 hours a month doing this, or 10 hours a week, so whatever, just call it 10 hours a week, right? And you value your time, just say you value your time at $50 an hour. You've spent $500 of your own time wasting doing this per week when you could have just paid someone else to do it for probably less money. And then you could have gone out and been earning that $500, right? So think of it as that's the spread between the two. Don't waste your own time doing something that you probably won't enjoy doing, and someone else can deal with it at a more higher level.
Yeah. Next is that you should stay compliant with tax laws. So you need to understand your tax obligations and schedules. When do you need to file your sales tax? Is it quarterly, monthly, annually? And you need to keep up with changes in tax laws. So one good example that I can think of is, this is a U.S. example, but the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act. So that completely changed the game in terms of tax deductions, and now it's like sunsetting.
Yeah, so will Congress keep it going, or will they not keep it going? But this is the problem with US taxes, is every time the administration changes, the tax code changes. So it's super fun and super difficult for everybody.
Yeah. Also, you need to know when you hit your limits. So you need someone who understands what the limits are in the first place, and keep track of that if you hit that limit. For example,
sales tax and Nexus.
Yeah, sales tax and Nexus.
And that goes for Canada as well. So you've got your provincial sales tax.
Yeah, so if you're in Ontario, you're selling to BC, when do you need to register for BC PST? You need to keep on top of all of those things.
But that's what we come back to saying, hire a professional, because usually they'll be keeping an eye on this for you.
Okay. So finally, just to recap what we've talked about, number one is that bookkeeping is the backbone of any business. Number two is just choose a bookkeeping software that is online. Again, make your life easier. Number three is get started on the right foot. So if you don't know how to set up an accounting system, you can at least pay someone to set one up for you.
Sometimes it's very difficult to do these things. And then when you start off wrong, you're going to end up, like we said, garbage in, garbage out. You're going to end up with the wrong
set of financials.
set of financials. Like, you don't need inventory in a services business.
Yeah. And lastly, we'll have links down below with all the, penalties and stuff like that we mentioned. So don't worry about that. You guys can have a read if you want to.
Yeah, and if you have any ideas for, videos you want to see, like a comparison of different software, or, how to deal with a particular situation, please let us know in the comments, and we'll be happy to, think about it and probably make something for you.
So once again, this is Ariel
and Jason
from Fix My Books. Have a great day.